Welcome back to Geek Station. I love Scooby-Doo. I loved it as a kid. I think it's a decent show now. If you want to make friends with people, 3 words. I love Scooby-Doo. If Scooby-Doo counts as 1 word, then it's 4 words if it counts as 2. If you want to make really close friends, share Shaggy memes. If you want to make just regular friends, just talk about Scooby-Doo. Everybody loves Scooby-Doo. Scooby-Doo, who's watching who? This is what we're talking about today. I don't care. This game, it's a game. It's a game for the DS. It came out for the DS. Scooby-Doo is such an excellent show, even though it's the same thing over and over and over, over and over and over, over and over and over and over again, and over and over and over again. Kids eat it up. But this game is like subpar level Scooby-Doo. Like it's just kind of mediocre. It's one of those things where they're like, let's just make a game and paint Scooby-Doo over it. It's if you're a person of average intelligence, it's gonna take you about an hour and a half to complete. I kid you not. I completed it over a couple days, but if I added up all the time, it probably took me about an hour and a half to 2 hours. It's got 5 levels, 5 worlds, whatever, and it's the same mundane, boring thing over and over and over again. It's a crappy 3D platformer with Scooby-Doo in it. And literally the whole idea is that you and this like ghost scene investigation group are part of a TV show where you're solving real crimes on TV, and it's stupid, it's dumb, it's a dumb idea. Just go watch Scooby-Doo. Do not, this game sucks. 5 levels. Creepy hotel, knockoff Candyland, haunted air base place in the south, not SeaWorld, and the worst vacation home ever, aka skiing. It's the same thing over and over and over again, as I've already said, over and over and over again. There's a platforming section, there's the clues section, there's the chasing section, and there's the mystery machine section. Platforming is where you're going to spend most of your time. You control Scooby, and you can use the 4 buttons on the DS to do actions. I mean, you move with your D-pad or your joystick, and then you can sneak by pressing the B button, where Scooby-Doo gets down and he sneaks. You can jump with the A button, and you can double jump. You can become a Segway and move your legs really fast to zoom, or you can spin around really fast. Those are your actions, but the only action you're really going to use is the jump. I barely use the other ones, except for like 1 or 2 times, because I basically just forgot that those things existed, because all you need to do is jump from platform to platform most of the time. And the jumping isn't even good. Like, it's the thing you do the most, but half the time you'll jump and you'll be like, I'm gonna make it, and then you'll just fall, and then you'll have to go all the way back to your last save point. And you can never tell where you're gonna jump because all the platforms look exactly the same. They are the same. You cannot tell where you're going. You have to just kind of wing it, and they don't tell you that you can move the camera to the side. So until the 4th level, I basically didn't move the camera at all. You can kind of move the camera a little bit to the right to see stuff so that you can actually know where you're jumping, but they don't tell you that, so there's no way to know what you're supposed to do. There are enemies that will also attack Scooby, and they're like really hard to beat because basically you just spam, you just press the Y button over and over again to spin around and hope you don't get hit. And you can, regenerate your health by collecting Scooby snacks or whatever, but these enemies just kind of are wherever they want to be, and they're not even like cool, recognizable enemies. Yeah, there's the skeletons and the zombies and the cotton candy globs and the ghosts, but then there's like weird sharks that like walk on their fins, and like weird creepy ghouls that they're not even Scooby-Doo enemies. Like, you couldn't put like some recognizable enemies in there. No, and they make these terrifying like screeching noises. No, please, no. There's power-ups, I guess, because there's veggie burgers that make you invincible. There's these chili peppers that you get later on that power up your spin attack and make it longer. and there's ice cream cones that freeze. The veggie burgers are good because then you don't have to attack enemies, because most of the time you're just going to walk past the enemies anyway, so if you're invincible, that way you don't get hit. The occasional chili pepper that you get is nice because then you just kill something in one hit and you don't have to worry about it. And then there's like the ice cream cones. I like, oh look, I can freeze my enemies because that's what it's supposed to be able to do. But basically you have to use the weird spinning leg attack, and I never used that anyways, so I didn't know what it did until the end of the game. So they're basically pointless. And the great thing is that you can get them in these boxes, but they're not the same every time. So if you die, go back to a save and you remember that, oh, this box had a veggie burger in it, and you open it, nope, can have a random enemy in it that can just murder you and be done, and you go back again, hope that there's a burger there again. And the only really good thing is that there's this guy named Blinky. He's like the camera dude, and he's there like everywhere. He's like a time traveler. He's like Sans from Undertale. He just like appears somewhere and then you can save. That's what it feels like, at least, because you'll be like, oh, I'm saving, and then jump, oh, here he is again, like, isn't he right over there? And at least he auto-saves for you, which makes it really easy. And most of the time, you'll do the same thing over and over again, and it'll get boring, but at least you don't have long to go between saves. Then there's the clues. We have to get the clues during every level, and there's like 8 clues generally, and then 3 trap pieces. And you don't have to explore it all. You just walk on one straight path, and sure, you can, oh, maybe there's something over here. Jump off the path, and there's a box or two. But those boxes have enemies in them, and they never, ever have a clue in them. Just follow the main path. There's no point, no point in continuing off the path. Just keep on the path, get your clues, end the level as quickly as possible. You'll probably have to do this 2 or 3 times, so just make it as easy as possible. So you get to the end of the first platforming section, and if you ever get new clues, you go immediately to Velma and you play mini games to figure out who the clue matches to out of 3 people. There's poking, sniffing, rubbing, doing all these weird things to the clues to find fingerprints, or to find some secret message in the paper. And basically all the clues point to one person, and you know who it is immediately, but you need all 8 clues to actually guess who the person is. I could have guessed who the person is literally the first time I did it. But no, we have to wait for the last clue, then you can do it. And then you go through the level again, and you find more clues, and you do the same thing over again. You keep doing it until you get all 8 clues. In one of the levels, in the 2nd and the 5th worlds, there's an extra section. Ooh, great, new content. Maybe it makes it less boring. Yeah, it makes it less boring, but that's because it's impossible to beat. There are these surfing levels, or snowboarding, skiing levels on Worlds 2 and 5, so Candyland and, or not Candyland or whatever, and the, like, skiing area, and you basically, it's just Scooby, like, freestyling it down, and you have to, like, duck and jump, and most of the time you can't even see where Scooby is going, so you just run into something, lose health, and then you have to start it all over. It took me probably 10 tries, which is a lot for this game that took me an hour and a half. Most of that was probably doing these crappy levels. Just to beat this level, no, it's not worth it. It's just padding the game for time, and you have to try and catch the last second, grab 1 or 2 clues. The worst part of the game. That's all I'm gonna say, nothing else. They're the worst. In each world, after you beat the 2nd section of platforming, Shaggy will appear, and you will do a chase sequence, the most boring, mundane, pointless chase sequence ever. You kind of just walk around, and you take your stylus, and you swipe up, and that makes Shaggy and Scooby jump because the bad guy is chasing them, and then you randomly tap your screen on the different places to try and get all of the things that are in their ways, all the obstacles that are in Shaggy and Scooby's ways, to get out of their way. Half the time you don't even do it, and you only get hit 3 times, so you just have to hope that it works. Some of them are really easy, so they're boring, and some of them are really hard, so they're the worst. Chase scenes, you have to do it twice, so you have to do it again, and I'll get back to that in a second. Then there is the worst section. The worst part of the game. Which is basically all of them, so that's saying a lot. The Mystery Machine section. It's like following someone out of a parking lot on New Year's when they leave a bar. The Mystery Machine is the bar car, and it doesn't work. You can... Obviously, this game was built for a D-pad, so you're supposed to use a D-pad, but I kept trying to use the little stick thing, and the car doesn't go the right way. You can go straight, but if you need a reverse to pick up a clue, good luck. You're gonna run out of time because most of them are timed, so basically it doesn't work anyways. And you normally find a clue and a trap piece, and then you're done. But they try to like mix it up. Like the first level, you have to find this spooky carriage, and the second level, I don't even remember. You have to collect rings and in a time limit, and they're basically impossible to find. There's one where you have to like race another car. It's the same thing. It's hard, and half the time you're gonna lose health by running into something. And hear Shaggy go, what does he say? He says the same thing every time you get hit. He says, "Easy on the driving, Fred." And you have to hear that over and over because you're gonna lose. It's gonna happen. It's the worst. It's the worst. It sucks. It's terrible. And then you guess who the person is who committed the crime, and you do another chase scene where you swipe up to put the traps in place so that you can catch the bad guy. And it's not even like the bad guys are recognizable. So you finish this, you do it 4 more times. The first guy is the ghost of Elias Kingston. Couldn't have done somebody like the Creeper, a recognizable enemy from Scooby-Doo. Then you get, who even is it? It's the ghost clown. So at least you know the ghost clown. Then Redbeard's ghost, he's recognizable. The spooky space kook, and then the ghost hunter, this random guy who's chasing around Mystery Inc. It's painful. It's a painful game. Then you do it 4 more times. At the end of every level, you get a percentage. I don't even know what the percentage is. I didn't even want to look it up because it's probably like you need to get all the Scooby snacks, and it's pointless. It's not enough fun for you to want to get all the Scooby snacks and get that high percentage. It's not worth doing everything. If you want to play it for whatever reason, it's $60 on Amazon. It skyrocketed in price. Don't ask me why it's so much money. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. Do not play it. Even if you're a hardcore Scooby-Doo collector. I'm not a hardcore collector. I mean, I like it, but like this game, it's not worth it. It's not. See you guys next time.